Hi friends, happy Monday. In this video, we're going to take a look at all of the physical books and manga that I either completed last week or had been reading last week. I did not read as many physicals as I normally do because I have been sampling quite a few digital volumes or chapters also, but I'm going to make a different video for the digitals. And here is everything that I have been reading. So it's 4 manga and 2 light novels. And the first manga that I want to talk about is this one called Eden of Witches, or Majo no Eden. This series is so fantastic. I love a good witchy series. I don't know what it is. Even even not during like Halloweeny times. There's just something so fun about a good supernatural story, be it witches, be it vampires. Doesn't matter. I like a good fantasy series. Eden of Witches is a dark fantasy, no romance, pure fantasy, at least in volume 1, seinen series. So it's targeted towards older men, but again, that doesn't matter. I'm not an older man and I still really enjoy this one. I would compare this at least a little bit to Witch Hat Atelier, and I did do a full breakdown of what happens in volume 1 on a different video if you're interested in learning exactly what this series is all about. I will say this is a series with a young woman protagonist. She is kept away from humans all of her life until one day circumstances force her to seek help from humans who end up betraying her, causing her to have to run away and kind of discover herself and her powers in order to get to Eden, or like a witch's paradise. This is very, very good. I only have volume 1 in my collection, and I can't do a Surigaya order for the next few volumes quite yet, so I'm a little bit bummed. This one I may end up buying physically in English just because I want to continue reading it physically, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get my hands on the Japanese volumes, and I really want to know what happens. This is a really, really interesting series. The villains are so like over the top villainous that it's just it's a really, really fun read. I really like I hate the villains, and you need a good like it feels good to have a villain that you can clearly hate. Like there's no morally gray. It's not really black and or it is pretty black and white. It's the villains suck. The good guys are good, the villains are bad. And I like that. Of course I do also like a good like morally complex story, but sometimes it's just nice to have a villain who you know you can hate and it's like they're meant to be hated. This one is called Monkey Peak. This was a reread. I read this for the first time, I think a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I remembered enjoying it, but I wanted to do a recap. I also did a recap for this one on a different video a little while ago. And I really, really enjoyed it again. So this is another series that I will be continuing. I also only have volume 1 in Japanese, and I don't know if this one has a physical English or not. I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure it has a physical French, but I don't know about English. But obviously, it has a physical Japanese, so I will wait on this one, but I would like to continue it eventually. This is a horror series about a company who are kind of forced to go hiking in the woods, and then once they hit the summit they are forced to stay the night there. My Even without any extra horror elements, that is terrifying to me. But once they get to the peak of the mountain, there is a horrific gorilla creature holding a machete who does not like that humans are there, and he takes that aggression out on the humans. I'm trying to make this PG. And we follow our surviving cast as they try and escape the gorilla. It's called a monkey, but it's not a monkey. It's not like any monkey I've ever seen. And it's really fun. This is a quite long one. There are 3 like series about Monkey Peak. There's like Monkey Peak, Monkey Peak the Rock, and Monkey Circle. So if you like a good, it's not even a murder mystery. It's just like a survival slasher kind of. It's not funny, but it's fun. If you like a good horror series where you can just turn your brain off and enjoy it, this is a good one because there's a lot of content. Next one I didn't like as much, and I'm kind of bummed. I read volumes 2 and 1, so 1 and 2. Oh, and 2 of PTSD Radio. This is one of the first series that I bought in Japanese, actually. I bought this the very first time I went to Tokyo forever ago. And because I love horror, the cover just screamed like, this is going to be scary to me. So I bought it and I read volume 1 and I really, really liked it. It's an anthology series and in volume 1, okay, I really did like volume 1, both the first time I read it forever ago and when I reread it last week. I really, really liked it. It's an anthology series, but in volume 1, it keeps going back to certain storylines. So it'll be like storyline A, B, C, A, D, C, A, kind of like it's not told in chronological order, but you do see the same characters a few times throughout the volume. And each time you see them, it's a different point in their lives. Like, it's just interesting. I really, really liked the nonlinear storytelling. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was unique. I thought the horror was good. The scary parts were scary. There were some just like one-off kind of scary parts that I felt really added to the horror of the story. I really liked volume 1. I was so stoked for volume 2. But volume 2, at least in my opinion, was very slow. And the majority of the short stories in this one didn't really seem to flow together like they did in volume 1. Volume 2 just felt like an anthology of kind of scary stuff all thrown together. It didn't really feel like it was actually tied in like volume 1 did. So I'm a little bit bummed. I don't know if I want to read volume 3 and see if it comes back together. I think I really only liked the last 2 short stories in this one versus I liked everything in volume 1. And I own the first 4 volumes because I bought it forever ago. And I don't know if I want to keep on reading or not. I don't like reading things if I know I'm probably not going to like them, but I also don't like not reading things in my collection because I own them. Why wouldn't I read them? Those are all of the manga physicals that I read this week. Moving on to my light novels. First, in English, we have Your Forma. This was a gift from a friend, and because I don't buy English light novels, and I should because I'm really enjoying this one. This is very fun. I'm about like a third of the way done. I will say I did think it was a little bit slow at first. Like just reading the prologue, it felt like just a tiny bit slow. But getting in, I read all of chapter 1, and chapter 1 was pretty long. It drew me in really, really well. There is very, very interesting world building. This is very much a sci-fi crime series, and I'm not the biggest into sci-fi, but I am really into like crime dramas. And so the crime drama aspect of this really did draw me in. And then I was intrigued by the type of sci-fi because it talks a lot about AI and androids. There are some sci-fi elements that I don't fully understand because that's not my forte, but it is told in such an interesting way that I am able to fully enjoy it. And I'm liking it. It's very good. I don't know if there's a volume 2 or anything out. As far as I've heard on Twitter, there's only 1 volume out so far, but I am excited to continue with the series just in general. There is also a manga for this series, but I don't know if I want to read it or not because I'm enjoying the light novel. And the last one I read, I'm reading this one at this point purely out of spite, unfortunately. And the English for this one is Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. So I started reading this one a long time ago, and then I put it on pause, not because I didn't like it, just I've been reading more manga, but I love this series so much. This is by an author that I really, really like. My bookmark just fell out of it. Oh no. I'll figure that out later. This is by the author of Hello, I'm a Witch, whose crush requested I make him a love potion. I was reading volume 2 of that one, which is why I originally put this on pause. But ever since it came out in English, and I'm so happy that it did come out in English because I really want my series to get my series. I really want the series that I love to get internationally recognized. I love it when things come into English and then become popular in the English side of things so I can talk about it with my friends. And so the manga adaptation for this light novel came out in English, and then everything got spoiled for me. And I was really, really upset because people aren't putting not trigger warnings. People aren't putting spoiler warnings on literally anything. They're just posting like I've seen even in Japanese, I don't know what's happening. Like people are posting the raws of like upcoming volumes on Twitter. just out there, not like just here you go, here's a spoiler. And I do own a couple of the volumes of the manga in Japanese because I really do love this series and I really want to continue reading it. So I want to read volume 1 of the light novel and then read all of the manga so I can, that's just how I like to do things. It helps me appreciate the things more. But when things just get like abruptly spoiled for me on Twitter, it makes me not want to read the series anymore, which is really, really disappointing. And this happens sometimes when things come into the, like when things become really popular on the English side of things. And it makes me a little bit upset because on one hand, I really, really do love it when things become popular. The authors deserve to make as much money as they can. I enjoy talking with my friends about series. But on the other hand, when things become so popular in English, people get excited and like obviously it's exciting, but they get excited and then they post things without thinking that maybe not everybody is caught up to the unreleased chapters. And then they post things and then they spoil them. And it's just very upsetting. Not even just this one. There's been a few, like Yona of the Dawn is one that recently got spoiled. And I'm just not going to finish it maybe for the next while. There was also Nina the Starry Bride. Just like there's a lot of things that are getting spoiled really, really consistently. It's no like one or two people, like it's a lot of people just spoiling things. And I'm ranting now because I'm upset about this. But yeah, so long story short, I am reading this one so it doesn't get any more spoiled for me because I really do like it. I really don't want to drop it. And I don't want to get to the point where I don't feel drawn to reading it anymore because it's been so spoiled for me. It hasn't got to that point yet. Nina the Starry Bride has gotten to that point. Unfortunately I'm just not reading that one anymore. But I want to read this one. I really, really like this one. Volume I think 5 in English is coming out in November. So I have to basically finish this before November. So good luck. I have to restart if I can't find where my bookmark fell out of. Good luck to me. I rant over. That's everything that I read physically last week.